Hey everyone, it's Ripper here. I know you are wondering what in the world am I doing standing outside, and I've wondered the same thing. But if you look right here in the background, I am at Highland Community College in Highland, Kansas. It's a small town out in the middle of nowhere, but there are some things going on here that are just really disturbing. I need help. I'm going to reach out to people. Eric Jose, Allie, the Wrecking Crew. You folks, I need your help. You need to call me and talk about this. Anyone that knows a civil rights attorney or that has been a victim here or has had some type of run-in with feeling like you were discriminated against, please call me. I'm going to give you the number to call me at. It is 646-450-6530. Again, it's 646-450-6530. I had to write it down to make sure I didn't say it wrong. But if you know a civil rights attorney, have them call me or call me with their number, because I think there's people here that probably could use one. Let me tell you some of the things that go on here. There's a couple of police officers in this town that are hired by the school as campus security officers. So some of the reports that I've gotten is that these officers sit inside this cafeteria during lunch, and sometimes they even have pictures of the student athletes and they profile them. One of the comments that was said to me from someone said, "I'm white and it even made me feel uncomfortable. I just couldn't believe it was happening." Some of the other things that go on here is at night. There's a college football dorm back there and a parking lot. And these campus security people go around with their flashlights looking in these vehicles, trying to find something that they can use against these students to hem them up or get them out of school. Some of these students have actually been kicked out of school because of something they said to one of these security people. I'm not talking about suspended or reprimanded, expelled from school for something they said. All right, let me tell you some of the other things that go on here. And just so you know, it's sleeting right now. There's ice on the trees. It's really cold. It's below freezing. But for some of the students here, a lot of the student athletes, it's cold like this year round. It's not a good place for them to be right now. Let me tell you some of the things that happen here. Some of the comments that the athletic director has made. One of the comments was, recruit more local and state players. Okay, that's fine. You know, you always want your local kids to play and be a part of the local community. I'll just tell you that the state of Kansas has an 85% white population. Most of the surrounding communities here, it's similar to that. It's around 85%. There's one city around here that has a 96% white population. So, you know, that's fine. You want local players, that's great. One of the other things that was said was, and I'm going to quote this, recruit more players that the culture of the community can relate to. Now, the culture of the community is going to be mostly white. I know that just by looking at the stats and the stats that I just named. The person that was said to, they followed up with, what exactly do you mean by that? And the response they got from the athletic director, who this is his first year here, was, you know exactly what I mean by that. And then one of the most disturbing comments that has been reported to me was, no more players with dreads or wicks. And then that comment was followed up naming 3 student athletes. I looked up their pictures, and when I saw their pictures, they had dreads and or wicks. You can look it up, dreads or wicks. Look up dreads, wicks, South Florida. It's kind of the hairstyle in South Florida. But they were told that these 3 players were bad people and they needed to get them off of campus. Now, just about an hour ago, I received a call regarding one of these players. And they are saying, now, I wasn't called from the player directly, but someone called me telling me that one of these players is trying to get back to school and they don't want him back. He's having a hard time to get back into the next semester. So I'm pretty sure the conversation that I had with someone about that is accurate, because now I'm hearing that they're trying to keep him from coming back. Also, the football coach that was here, he was here for 6 or 7 years. It was a good coach. They were ranked in the top 20 this year. They beat the number 1 team in the country. He had more suspensions this year as he's had his whole career here combined. And all of the suspensions of the players here this year on his team were African American student athletes. And when we talk about suspensions, I want to talk about a party that was held in this town that the students went to, like a house party. They were drinking. That's what college kids do. But the party got busted by local law enforcement. 20 or so students got tickets. They got minor in possessions, things like that. It was the baseball team, the volleyball team, the softball team. None of those students were reprimanded by the college. Yet, you have students here being kicked out of school for saying something to a police officer that's acting as a security guard here. Also, around that same time when that party happened, there was a couple of players that were suspended from the program for things that, they didn't get tickets from police officers. One player was suspended because he missed a meeting with the school counselor. He was suspended for a football game because he missed a meeting with a school counselor. Yet, people can get tickets and get arrested, and they don't get suspended or anything. In another case where a player was suspended, the starting quarterback, after one of their games when they had a loss, he said something to the refs after the game. The refs blew it off. They didn't think it was a big deal. What he said was something to the effect of, "You all effing suck." The refs didn't write a report on it, but the athletic director of this school contacts the head of officials after he doesn't see a report written up on it, and he makes them write a report up on it. The head of officials told the head football coach here, we didn't want to write up a report on it, but your athletic director was adamant about it. The report is written up. It's turned into the NJCAA. They suspend the player for 2 games because the athletic director turned it in. Now, the athletic director didn't hear the student make the comment, but the chief of police heard it, and he told the athletic director about it. And then after they ruled their 2-game suspension, the athletic director sends an email to the head football coach saying that they're going to kick that student out of the game. He was the starting quarterback for the team. The NJCAA already ruled a 2-game suspension, but the athletic director says he's going to kick him out of school. At that point, the head football coach goes to the president of the college, which I have stories on. That'll have to be another time because I don't have enough time, but goes to the president of the college and fights for this student to keep him in school, and he is allowed to stay in school. There's tons of stories like this. People, these students need help up here. I can't do this by myself. So if you know any civic groups, civil rights groups, they really need help up here. You have my number. I get it in the video. This is in Highland, Kansas. I just can't believe it's 2020 and our education system. This is a state school. I cannot believe we have an education system that reminds me of the 1960s when African Americans were treated in such a way that they couldn't even enroll in a school. I'm Ripper. Please help. This is so important.